What is going on, everybody? It's your boy back with another episode of the Baseball Card Junkies podcast. Hope everybody had a pretty good 4th of July. Y'all went out, did thing, your barbecue thing, you did your firework thing. Um, yeah, I'm glad it's over with. I can't stand fireworks. That's just me. All right, so we're gonna do a quick roll call. We got Maddie who popped up in the chat first. He's out and about. Maddie doing Maddie things out there running. We got Jason from Canadian Car Breakers. Mike DeFrancesco, what's going on? Then we got Larkin. Sean, how we doing? Hey, so um we're gonna have a little more than usual to talk about tonight. So yeah, without further delay, we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. We're gonna start off with the upcoming releases. All right. So the first thing is basically on the 12th of July, we got 2024 tops. Panini Donruss. And hold on, before I even get anywhere, let me go ahead and get my little banners going on. All right, so for this particular product, we're looking at about $130 a box. And each box, we're looking at a configuration of 8 cards per pack with 24 packs per box. We got 3 mems, 3 autos, 48 base rated prospects, 24 optic cards, 24 inserts / parallels per box on average. And these are what some of the pictures look like, and I actually have better photos here. So these are the base cards. Then you got your sticker autos. And again, we got nothing but prospects / veterans. So not really all that. New design for the bomb squad. And we got the big heads. Checklist. Well, this is all the parallels that you got. You got your laser, hollows, liberties, so on and so forth. Not gonna really get all into it, but here's all your names. A lot of these names, they are already in the big league, but we all know what's going on with that. Panini lost the licensing for all that. All right. So that is Donruss. Let me pull up this next product. The price is $130 per hobby box, Jason. All right, next one. We're looking at on the 17th of July, we're looking at 2024 Topps Chrome. All right, as you can see, it's 1 Chrome auto per box. And basically, I pulled up Steel City and David Adams. And the reason being is because since I'm already a member of the David Adams, they're gonna price me differently. So as of right now, as you can see, for the most part, we're looking at a jumbo box for about $413, right? And for the hobby box, we're looking at $206. But then when you go to, for example, like Steel City, $209 for a hobby, and then we're looking at $419. And it's about the same, but still. All right. But nothing's really special about this, with the exception of everything's gonna be in Chrome for the most part, minus the fact that there are some new inserts in this product. So for example, we got the expose, then we have this HFA on steroids is what I'm gonna call it, but it's actually called the Fanatical. Hobby box, you've got cards per pack is gonna be 4 with 13 in a jumbo pack, 24 packs in a hobby, while there's 12 in a jumbo. And then the boxes per case, you got 12 for a hobby, 8 for a jumbo. The set size is 300 cards. Okay, so it is a little more expensive. I will go ahead and put this in the link in the chat below, just so that everybody can see for themselves. And yeah, that's really all that I have for Topps Chrome. Now, the final product that I did want to talk about, let me pull this up, is also being released on the 17th. You got 2024 Panini USA Stars and Stripes Baseball. All right. So this product here, it's about $80. Okay. The configuration, you got 12 packs per box, 5 cards per pack. You're going to be looking for 2 autos, 1 mem, and 18 parallels. And just to give you an idea of what they look like, that's the biggest that it's going to get. But these are what the base cards look like. These are what the autos look like. And I know there's some individuals out there within the community that look for products like this because of the patriotism. So, I mean, I can understand why. Then you got your relics. And you got all this good stuff right here. So, I mean, so it looks like for $80, it's really not that bad. Some selling points. It features some of the best players in the world, starting with collegiate national team down to your tweens, is what I'm gonna call them. Exclusive parallels, such as the America and Crystals, among others. Then you've got your USA national team development program, so on and so forth. You get your jumbo patches, and you got your 2 autos and 1 mem on average per box. So, I mean, again, if you're into that stuff like that, then this is the product for you. All right. Okay, so we got some more individuals that showed up. We've got Box Score Collectibles. How you doing? We have the GOAT, Brandon Jensen. Titus, God is great. How we doing? Glad everybody can make it and hang out. I apologize for last week. I was a little under the weather, so I couldn't come out and do a episode for y'all. Nikki, Kenny, how y'all doing? But I'm still a little bit under the weather or whatnot, but I was actually strong enough to do this episode for y'all. All right. Next thing we're gonna go ahead and talk about is the not the upcoming release, but the item that has already been brought out. And we're gonna be talking about 2024 Topps Tier 1. So I actually got into a 2-case break of this product, and this compared to 2023, I do see a significant difference. So, for example, last year's product, there was only 3 cards in it, while this year they actually are giving you an additional card. All right. Now, some of the designs are as follows. You've got your base here, which already looks better than what we had last year. Then you've got your autos, and I don't want to speak about every card that offered an autograph, but the ones that I did see were all on card, so that's another plus. You know, I understand what we all feel about sticker autos. Then you got your ink variations. You got your gold, you got your red inks, you got your silver inks. You know, then you've got your RPA. See what I mean? You got your sticker autos right here. I mean, for a product of this magnitude, I don't see why we're still doing the whole sticker thing. And real quick, I mean, look at the price that we're actually paying for a sticker auto. Okay, suggested price is about $325. Again, me being a member of Dave and Adams, they're only going to charge me $320. But does it make sense to pay over $300 for a sticker auto? To me, no. But who am I? You know, I'm just a minion consumer with minion consumer preferences. All right, but then you've got your bat knobs with the autograph. Now, during the live stream with OPC, I did manage to see a bat knob card of Mike Trout's being pulled, so that's pretty awesome. Then you got your your patches of your Hall of Famers. And the breakdown for it, you got 4 cards per hobby, 1 pack per hobby, 12 boxes per hobby. The set is only 100 cards, and the item actually released on the 3rd. So it was awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I personally will not be buying any boxes because, again, I'm not spending $300 for a sticker auto. If anything, I will be targeting the singles that I want. Okay. Yeah, so that was everything that I wanted to talk about as far as the product reviews are concerned. All right. If you've got into any of this product or you've purchased any or whatever the case may be, go ahead and drop it in the comments or in the chat after or during the stream. Let us know what you thought, what your thoughts are about this product. And yeah, always willing to listen to everybody's perspective of this product. Orlando from a collector's dream, how you doing? All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and we are going to jump into our top 5. And our top 5, we are actually going to be using, I don't know why I turned this off, makes no sense. We're going to be using market movers. And let me pull it up on my little handy dandy phone. Dismiss. All right, so number 5, we've got the 2023 Bowman Draft Chrome Refractor First of Wyatt Langford. All right, so in the last 7 days, this card has seen an increase of about 29% with a 30-day increase of 44.1%. There hasn't been any raw sales as of recent because he was actually when Bowman Draft first dropped, he happened to be one of the chasers. So as they were getting pulled, you've got everybody actually pulling them, sending them off the PSA and getting them slabbed up so they can go ahead and increase their profits. But I don't see any recent sales of this particular card. So what we are going to go to are the charts for it. All right. So the first one I did want to focus in on was this one here. So basically the last sale was yesterday, July 5th, and it was for about $107. All right. Average price is looking at about $78.34. These are all the sales that occurred. Now, mind you, this is for a PSA 10 with a pop count of just over 2,000. So it's out there. All right. So on the 3rd, one sold for $96. On the 4th for $81. And then the most recent sale, we're looking at about $107. Okay. So if you've got any of this young man's cards, you may want to go ahead and pawn them off now. And the reason why he actually showed up on this week's top 5 is because if you are a Texas Rangers fan, you would know this young man actually had an outstanding game on the 30th of June where he actually hit for the cycle. So I pulled up Baseball Reference, and at that time they were going against Baltimore. They won 11-2. All right, 5 at bats. He got 4 hits. He had the single, and he got the double, the triple, home run. Okay, so that's probably what led him to be on this week's top 5. So how long he's going to remain on it, that's to be determined. We will find out later on. All right. So we are going to go ahead and move on now to number 4. Let me get rid of. No, I'm going to leave that one up there because that's significant. All right. And number 4 happens to be the 2020 Bowman Chrome Prospects of Jason Dominguez. So we've seen a 7-day increase of about 80% with a 30-day increase of 41.5%. You could get this card raw for roughly between $10 to $12. If you The last one that actually sold as a PSA 10 happened to occur on the 4th of July. There was two of them actually. On the low end, one sold for $41 even. And then the most recent on the high end was about $50. All right, so let's go to his chart. I've got both the PSA 10 and the PSA 9 listed here in the Market Movers app. So for a PSA 10, we see the pop count well over 10,000. We're looking at 10.6 thousand to be exact. All right. Last sale was about $45 on average. He peaked at about 50. No, he actually peaked out about June 15th. But as of right now, if we look at his PSA 9, all right, not that many PSA 9s, but still it's a little bit flooded. Most recent happened to happen on the 6th of July for $68.99. And it's up from about 10 to $36. So I mean, it's doing its thing, you know. But now, if you're not aware of it, Dominguez is not on. He's not currently playing at all due to the fact that he's going to be missing time because he's got an injury that he's going to be sitting about 8 weeks to heal up. So a little backstory on Dominguez. When he came up last year, late in the season, he came up, started doing big things. He couldn't be stopped. But then as the season ended, it was determined that he was going to be sitting out due to getting Tommy John surgery. So he came back after Tommy John surgery, started tearing it up in AA and Scranton, AAA, all that good stuff. Ended up getting hurt, pulling his oblique in one of the games. And yeah, this just added another 8 weeks to his recovery time, which means that's going to be another 8 weeks before we actually see this young man actually playing. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to when Jason actually does come up and blow right through the minors and come back up to the majors. Now, the only question that I do have is what position will he play? Because I'm hearing rumors that Jason Dominguez will move up to center field, and Aaron Boone is looking at experimenting with Aaron Judge playing first. Okay. I don't know. Again, that is just a rumor that I've been seeing on a lot of social media. I don't know how true that rumor is, but if it is in fact something that will be entertained, and I do have a reliable source, or I do see or hear firsthand, I will be sure to bring that up to everybody, and we'll see how that works out. Okay. All right. Moving right along. Now we are going to go on to number 3 in our top 5. And number 3, no big surprise, it's going to be Wyatt Langford again, but this is going to be his paper version. All right. As far as paper, we're looking at a 7-day increase of 31.2% with a 30-day increase of 51.6. You could actually get this card raw for about $3, which is not bad. PSA 10, there were a total of 5 that sold yesterday. All right, so on the low end, we're looking at a total for about $23. And on the high end, one sold for $40. All right, so we're going to take that down. So then as far as his paper, all right, so the last one actually sold for about $13.63. These are all the sales that occurred 5 of them sold on the 5th, 4 on the 4th, 3 on the 3rd. So you get it. Okay. So, I mean, if we look at his paper, all right, it's really somewhat on the incline, but it's still somewhat stagnant, if you will. I mean, there's really nothing to write home about, but it's just showing, yeah, he's doing great things out there. So cool. All right. Now, next one we're gonna do is number 2. Let's go back here. No, that's not number 2. My apologies. Number 2 happens to be the Chrome Draft Langford base. All right. Just like everything else, there's all his sales of all his variations are pretty much the same. 7-day increase of about 24% with a 30-day increase of 91.2. You could pick this up raw for about $10 to $12. Last sale actually happened yesterday for $43. Okay. So I'm not gonna throw you back at the chart because as you can see, I'm just gonna throw this up there. This is everything that he has had since then. All right. So for the red, you've got the paper that's occurred. Then you've got the 2 sales. Let me close this out real quick. All right. So as far as the PSA 9s for his Chrome to pop 632. Then you've got at a PSA 10 pop 2600. So I mean, this card is actually getting out there. And as we can see through all the colors that you see on this graph, it's a very slow incline going up. And the one that's actually coming away happens to be his Chrome First refractor. All right. So I'm not going to bore you with all this. You can see that he's pretty much taken over the entire top 5. So you love to see it. All right. So our number 1, and this is his first time actually on the top 5. We're looking at a 2024 Bowman Chrome Prospect Auto First of a George Walco. Okay. If I'm screwing up the last name, I apologize, but I'm just pronouncing it how I see it. Anyway, we're looking for this young man. We're looking at a 7-day increase of 31.4% with a 30-day increase of 26.7%. You could actually get this card raw, surprisingly, on the low end. We're looking at anywhere between $35 to $45 raw. There has not been any PSA 10s that has been sold. So at a PSA 9, one actually sold June 30th for $28, right? And that would be this one right here. So as you can see, there's not many out there because we're not being shown a pop count, but there's only been one sale of this particular card, okay? And it's just a matter of time to see if this card is actually gonna flood the market, if you will. So for those of you who are White Sox collectors, this may be somebody that you may want to target if you're looking at flipping or making a couple of bucks. So I mean, that's completely up to you. And that, my friends, happens to be our top 5. Comment down below. Let me know what you think about this top 5 list. What are your thoughts on it? Let me know what you think. And yeah, I'll be looking forward to seeing what everybody thinks about it. I'm just getting all my ducks in a row. So when we get into the hobby news, we can go ahead and knock that out real quick. Make sure y'all hit that like button for me and share the stream if you could, so that we could get everybody else to come on in who is looking for this type of content. All right. So now we are going to cover our hobby news. But let me see if anybody else has come into the chat that I have not acknowledged. Floyd fan, welcome to the stream. All right. So nobody else really in the stream. So now we're going to go ahead and get into our hobby news. And before I actually get into the news, in case you was not aware of it, but we did lose another legend. Orlando Cepeda passed away at the young age of 86. So condolences and prayers and thoughts go out to his family and loved ones. All right. Don't really want to get into his deal. Just know that he was a legend of a player. He played for the Giants. So yeah, shout out to him, his family and loved ones, and I hope they make it through. And yeah, we'll be praying for him. All right. So first thing I want to talk about in this week's hobby news is GemRate came up with their totals for the month of June. And as you can see on the graph in front of you, PSA has graded a total of 425,000 cards for the month of June. And the variation is they're down 15% from a month-to-month basis. But on a year-to-year, they're actually up +6. So they're still relatively ahead of schedule as far as their end goal of total graded cards, and we don't know what that goal is. CGC, they graded a total of 163,000, and it's up 2 from May and up 175% from last year. Beckett, they did only 30,000 slabs, up 7 from May, down 12 from June 2023. So whatever happened, hopefully they get to correct themselves and get back on that grind. SGC, a total of 10,000 cards graded in the month of June, which is they're down 36% from May, but they're up 76% from last year. So whatever it is that is causing a little bit of a friction from moving forward, hopefully they get it together and get back in check. All right, so that's that. All right, next thing is graders notes for PSA. So in case we're not aware, PSA has now officially released the fact that we will be seeing graders notes in our submissions, but there's a catch. The catch is you will only see graders notes on all submissions that are sent at the minimum submission level of Express, where the Express level cost is $129 per card, which that is a declared value of about $2,500, and the turnaround for that is roughly about 5 business days. All right, so some examples of what you'll see for the graders notes. All right, so for example, real generic corners, bend top left, okay, edges, frame, center right, the surface, discoloration, front top half, centering, back, top to bottom. So that's about as generic as you can possibly get to see exactly what it is that gave your card the grade that it received. Now, I personally think, despite the lack of detail, it's still in the right direction. I would just like to see this spread out across all grading level submissions. And again, kind of like what they mentioned 2 weeks ago, that the graders notes will only be released to the individual who submitted that order, and that person only. Excuse me. This information will not be released to the public. And in their terms and conditions, they did mention that you, as the individual who submitted said order and received it back with the grader's notes, are not allowed to use their grader's notes for any purposes other than learning why your submissions received the grades that they did. So, I mean, as far as any consequences, we don't know what that is. So we'll see how this works out. Okay, me personally, I don't agree with that, but I do see I can appreciate now that we're actually able to see why our cards are getting the grades that they did, and we can cross-reference it. So if you're telling me basically that there was some slight discoloration in the surface, okay, and it kind of gives you a general location of where to look, I'll be able to see and compare the note to the actual flaw that has been identified and see for myself, and just do a comparison. Is that in fact what it is? Because now my question is, if the grader is telling me, if he put the note saying that there was discoloration in the front part of the card on the top half, and I don't see that, am I able to contest that grader's note with customer service and potentially have it reconsidered for a potential grade being looked at again, or what? I don't know. So that's just something that I'm looking forward to. All right, so this next thing that came out, and I don't know how to feel about it, but we have here PSA is actually they actually consider the idea of doing vending machines. Okay, but real quick, I see a couple of comments in here. What about the new PSA slabs being recalled? I have not heard anything about that as of right now. So, I mean, as soon as I'll actually do some research on that for you, Tom, and then I will bring it up in next week's episode. Great question. So I owe that to you. Research slab recall. All right. But in this case, so PSA has created a vending machine with PSA 10 cards into it, and each card you're actually looking to it's going to cost $50 for each additional slab. All right, so basically I'm going to go ahead and play this quick video. It's not going to have any audio. I will talk you through it so you can see firsthand how this whole thing works. All right. So this gentleman is talking about how the PSA vending machine is something new. All right. And you can either get a sports card or you could get a TCG card. Here, it's going to cost you about $50. It's going to choose your payment method. All right. Machine is doing its thing, waiting for your card or your method of payment. All right. So the payment has been approved. Now the machine is actually pulling the slab of choice that this individual selected. And we're going to see what type of product actually comes out of this machine. All right. So you see it's actually coming out. And it kind of looks like it comes out in one of those eBay authentication guaranteed boxes. So that's pretty cool. And there you have it. You got your Gem Mint 10. And in this case, this person actually chose a TCG card. All right. So he's talking about how it's presented, how it's encased, and its legitimacy. But now he's actually going to go into this is what I wanted to bring up. So you paid $50 for a PSA 10. When he tried to comp it out, he actually took a loss of about $15. So in this case here, what do you all think of this PSA vending machine? Me personally, this is not something that I would actually get involved in. Now, I do know, and I did read on Twitter that this vending machine, there's only one that is being piloted right now, and it's actually in Vegas. And it's definitely gambling, Orlando. But honestly, this is not a gamble that I would actually want to get into because who knows what slabs you're actually going to find in there. Okay. So if you happen to be in the Nevada area, more specifically in the Vegas area, and you're looking to want to try out this PSA slab vending machine, by all means, knock yourself out. And yeah, let us know what you think about it. All right. So Brandon says he's watched 6 of those videos where multiple purchases were made and no one ended on top. Yeah. And I guess that was something not thought out after. I mean, I don't expect for PSA to throw some seriously high-end type cards out there, but at least give me back my $50. Okay? I mean, for the love of God, if I'm giving that money out, you could at least meet me with $50 in value. That's really all I want to talk about in regards to that. I mean, I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. All right. So this one is kind of huge in my opinion. I don't know how y'all gonna feel about it, but we will see. All right. So the next one, Walmart is getting into the hobby. Okay. So last time I checked, I went actually out to my Walmart to see how this is happening. And basically, from my understanding, is you actually have to go onto the Walmart app and it will let you know how to go about doing so. All right. So basically, it will allow the sale of collector's items to include trading cards, memorabilia, so on and so forth. Got to go on the platform. You need to apply to the Walmart marketplace with a tax ID. So if you're looking at making a business out of this, you cannot flip for purposes of personal gain. You have to provide a tax ID. I have not played with it at all. So yeah, if you're looking into spreading out your business, this is another platform that you can take advantage of. All right. Just keep in mind, currently offering a 0 referral fee from 1 to 30 September. Sellers can offer new or pre-owned items as well as pre-order for upcoming releases. So, what are your thoughts on this? I guess it ain't no fun unless Walmart can't have none. That's what I see. I mean, me personally, I'll probably look it up later on my own free time just to see how it actually works out. But is this gonna be something that is this gonna be a platform that flippers or investors are gonna be using to earn a buck or two? Probably not. Okay. I mean, Wally World, it's one thing to pick up toilet paper in the middle of a pandemic. It's another thing to pick up sports cards or TCG cards just because you don't feel like getting up, getting into your car, or whatever the case may be. Okay, so I don't know. What else we got? Okay, so this one kind of hit near and dear home. All right. So I'm going to say all of us here, all 15 of you that are watching right now, to include myself, has gotten into a break of some sort at one point in time. Hell, we've got into multiple. We've got a couple of residential breakers that we deal with, that we give our business to. Shout out to one being carddeal.com. He is one that offers breaks religiously. Another one that actually offers breaks, that would be Mike from Ripping for Rookies. Now, I've got into many of breaks with both gentlemen, and I can appreciate, after the break is all said and done, how they sort the cards, they package the cards, they ship the cards, how the cards are received on my end, how well packaged they are. These two gentlemen, they put time and effort into making sure that there's no damage to the cards that we paid for and everything like that. So basically, where I'm getting at is, how would you all feel if you got into a break, okay, and with the exception of all your hits, because obviously all breakers know any hits, they're either going to be sleeved alone or they're going to be sleeved and top loaded. But all your base, normally they get thrown in a team bag. What would be your thoughts if you got into a relatively big break and your breaker sent you all the base looking like this? Okay, and this is the collector. This is the individual who received the cards in this condition. He recently bought into a break, requested to be shipped all of his cards, not just the hits. The breaker shipped the cards and they showed up loose in the box. So, how do y'all feel about? I mean, okay, so here's my thing. We do know that there's certain product that a lot of breakers get into where, they let you know ahead of time base cards will not be shipped unless they're going to be sold in as a spot alone. Okay, but you also have those individuals that are buying into these breaks that request to have the base cards shipped to them. Now, Bowman, for example, it is a headache to actually sort through all these cards, especially if you're ripping something minimum of a case. Okay, because you've got a lot of base with Bowman products. Does that, as a breaker, does that give you the right, because somebody is putting a little more work into giving you a little more work, that this is how you repay them? I mean, really, put yourself as the breaker, put yourself in the consumer's shoes. If you bought into a break and you requested for your base cards to be shipped out to you, and it could be for whatever reason, whether you're trying to build the set or, because you want them, or some kids in your community that you like to give cards out to, get them involved in the hobby, keep them out of trouble, whatever the case may be. And you being that breaker, you want to get all butthurt and upset, man. He's going to have me do all this unnecessary extra work because he wants his base cards. All right, cool. I'm going to grab them all up and I'm just going to throw them in a bag, a box, send them off. There you go. Me personally, I would be pissed. I don't know how the majority of you would feel like, but Alan, I would agree. At least put some peanuts in there. Maybe cover up the top of it with some bubble wrap. I don't know. And I'm seeing that Jenny Jones is actually in the chat. Thank you for coming by and dropping everybody's links below, Jenny. Make sure y'all go check out Jenny Jones's channel. All right, at least as a random act of kindness, she's got a pretty good channel out there. If you can relate to her content, then her channel is for you. So appreciate that, Jenny. But yeah. So honestly, who in their right mind? I know this is going to be a redundant question, maybe even a stupid one, but you know, me being in the military, I was always taught the only stupid questions that are out there are the questions not asked. If you receive, let's just say for the sake of argument, you got into a Leighton Sports Cards break and they sent you a box looking like this. Will you be continuing to conduct business with Leighton in the future if they're the ones that have the best prices on those particular products? That would be kind of a tough decision, in my opinion. Okay, so Nikki is saying it would be his last break with the breaker for sure. Now, would you still have that same mind frame if that breaker offers the best prices on the product? Okay, it seems like we got somebody new here. And he writes, if the breaker takes the money, they have a responsibility to send in a safe matter and promptly, not like you showed and promptly. Over 1 week to ship is unacceptable, period. You know what, Dennis? I couldn't agree with you more. And because of that, you, my friend, had just earned yourself a blue wrench. Just saying. But yeah, I would definitely agree. We've got Box Score Collectibles saying nope, that will be the last time. Big no for any future breaks with them. Okay. So I can see that despite regardless if they offer the best prices in town, you're not going to have your way with a product that I poured money into and send me in that type of condition. So I will wholeheartedly no longer be doing business with that individual as the majority of you have been saying. So I appreciate everybody's thoughts and comments on that. All right. So the next thing we're going to go ahead and talk about the national. Everybody's got this little countdown going on with the national, and there's already coordination for a lot of the members of our community who's going to be meeting up over there and doing whatever. But in case you was not aware, all right, so the National Official Trade Night in the Collectors Lounge is going to be presented by eBay, and some of the information and this tweet actually, oh, excuse me, came out today. No, I'm sorry, yesterday. Trade Night is going to be happening in a space of about 40,000 square feet. Okay, on the 25th, the 26th, and the 27th from 6 to 11. So there's plenty of time to get your trades in. The location is going to be at the IX Center, the home of the National in the lower level concourse. All right. So initially, this is going on Friday. It's going to be hosted by Leighton Sports Card and Card Ladder to include women in the hobby. So I'm glad to see that our female counterparts are actually getting involved into the hobby. You love to see it. We actually have a couple of females that we have in our group that you know they play a big role in the hobby from our level, and I can appreciate them for their contributions to the hobby for us. All right, so basically, you got to show off your badge or your admin wristband for free entry into the trade night based on capacity. Okay, 40,000 square feet. I'm pretty sure you're allowed more than 100 people to show up. Just saying. All right. Anyway, you join your favorite brands, breakers, collectors at the lounge. More info to come. So as more information comes via social media, I will be collecting everything and I will be bringing it out to you. So that's where we're at with that. I'm sitting here looking at the chat. Uh welcome Adam, how you doing? And we all see that Brandon had to throw his additional comment in there, and I can appreciate it. Basically, prices don't mean nothing if the service is poo-poo. I agree with you. Who else we got here? All right, so we're pretty much caught up. Now, last thing that I want to talk about on here. You all recall GameStop actually getting into the sports card marketplace, and initially the program was, if you go to the GameStop website, they have an extension where if you type in your zip code, it will let you know which of the following franchises, if you will, are actually participating in this pilot program with getting into the marketplace. We also talked about the stipulations of the program. As a seller, meaning you are looking to sell your cards to GameStop, your cap is $500. Okay, that could be one card, that could be 500 cards. You will not get no more than $500. And I believe when I did talk about this particular part of the program, I did mention that in turn, GameStop actually made a few sales, and it exceeded the $500 that you are limited to selling. They had like an Ethan Salas in there. They sold for like, what is it, $900, $1,000, something like that. But now, let me pull this up for you. GameStop is looking to be kind of like David Adams. They've already offered their first bounty. Okay. And the bounty that they're placing is $25,000 for a Lionel Messi Panini Copa America Black 101 sticker. I don't know what that card looks like. I guess, okay, so this is what it looks like. That's the bounty on it. Now, here's my question. Is that card worth more than $25,000? Because we all know GameStop has a history of lowballing their consumers, whether it be with video games or whether it be with sports cards. What are your thoughts on it? I mean, who's to say that card is not worth 4 times the bounty that they have set for it? You know, I mean, Larkin makes a good point. Probably worth more. Soccer and F1 collectors are rich and nuts. Yeah, I would agree. You know, I mean, Messi, if I'm not mistaken, happens to be one of the GOATs in regards to soccer. It's him and I forgot who was it before Messi. He no longer plays though, but when he did play, he was phenomenal. I cannot think of his name. Mbop, something like that. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. But either way, that is their first bounty that they got going on. All right. And Box Score Collectibles, he writes, great question. You have to see what the market is dictating when the card is pulled. You're right. Finding a buyer for more than amount could mean holding it for a while. Well, not really. I mean, because David Adams, they've put ridiculous bounties. Like, for example, that superfractor of Drew Jones. The moment that it was pulled, David Adams, if I'm not mistaken, they reached out first to see if the individual that pulled the card was willing to commit to the bounty. And it was a couple of weeks at most. So, I mean, it all depends, honestly. Okay, so Kenny says Pele, yep. And then Sean with Mbot. Okay. I know there's another kid that plays soccer, Ronaldo something. I don't know who he is, but yeah. White Sox Tom writes 25K seems low compared to what David Adams has for its bounties. Well, I mean, Tom, David Adams has their sole focus is trading cards, where GameStop, I don't think they've been in 90 days and they're already trying to take over or make a name for themselves by doing their first bounty. So I mean, it all depends really. So, but again, just to caveat where a lot of people previously were saying though, Tom, I mean, GameStop is infamously known for lowballing their customers. Okay, they've been doing it since the beginning of time when it comes to trading to video games. You know, there's been many times where I have gone into a GameStop, I've picked up a $60 game, take it home, finish it. After I'm done with it, I always like to trade them back in and put that store credit towards something else. You know, if I pay $60 for the game and I'm ready to trade it back in, I'm only getting a fraction of what I paid into it. You know, and again, it all depends on the game too. But usually, I've been given anywhere up to 15 to $20 of what I paid for initially. You know, so I mean, that doesn't work for me. All right, so Jason writes, the more places that sell cars, the better for those that don't have a hobby shop, but I won't see back to them. Okay. Won't sell back to them. Got you. Drew Jones has been a disappointment still with the Visalia Rawhide and a bit mediocre, but that's just my eyeball test on the young athlete. And I just used Drew Jones as an example. I mean, there's been other cars that has bounties on them. Like for example, there was a $100,000 bounty on the MLB debut 1 of Anthony Volpe, and the individual that pulled that card declined the bounty. You know, so I mean, but there has been some bounties that have been claimed, and it doesn't really take that long, depending on the amount of the bounty. What Larkin writes here, and they sell it again used for like $10 less than new. That is a good point. Yes, they do. Wholeheartedly agree. So, what are everybody's thoughts in regards to everything that's been talked about this evening? Comment down below, let me know what y'all think, or after the stream, just go ahead and put it in the comments. If you happen to be a member of the Cardmunity Discord, feel free to drop your thoughts or experiences in there below, and you know, we can have a discussion about it. For those of you that will be going to the national, hopefully you do have fun. It's and for those of you that's actually going over there for the first time, I hope you have a pleasant experience. And bring back some stories, especially if you have a YouTube channel, when you do content. You know, some of us do expect to see some footage of your experiences at the national. And for those of you that's actually gone there more than once, same rules apply to you. You know, if you plan on doing a live stream, you know, do that live stream so we can see what it's like to be over there. Let us know, you know, you could rub it in our faces. Look, this could have been you. This is what you're missing out, so on and so forth, or whatever. But also keep in mind, after the national, the Fanatics Fan Fest, they will be doing something very similar to what the national is doing, but it's actually going to be held in New York City, with 2 more scheduled venues, one being in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is in September, and then a third location, which is going to be in Orlando, Florida in November, which is what I will be attending. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So besides that, are there any questions about anything that we have covered this evening? Again, I do appreciate everybody for coming in, hanging out, expressing their thoughts and opinions with us. And be sure to hit that like button for me if you have not done so. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel. It only helps me out. I will be looking to do another episode next Saturday. And as far as what's going on with Adrian, she continues to improve health-wise day to day. So it shouldn't be long before we actually get back to our normal routine where we're doing episodes on her channel. I will keep that up. I will keep everybody posted on what's going on. And other than that, I do appreciate everybody hanging out, and everybody enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night, y'all.